Welcome everyone to Successful Iranians podcast. And we've got a cracker, but we've also had a bit of a drama to get the guest on in the first place. The wonders of technology. We've been at it for 20 minutes, but we've got there in the end. And it's the one and only Babak Amini. Well done for getting here.
Thank you, Johnny. Sorry it took like 20 minutes, but I tried my best. First, I was just trying to do it with the computer. It didn't work out. Here I am.
Yeah, the wonders of technology, right? It shouldn't be that stressful, but it is. It's incredible. We tried everything.
Yeah, because here I have my home recording studio as well. So there are lots of devices here is connecting to my sound card. And sometimes my computer is just confused which one to use for which app. I have like different sound cards here, like different USB ports that is just connecting to everywhere. So it was like confusing from my side and the computer side as well. So I'm happy that finally we could do it with the cell phone.
Absolutely. Yeah. So dramas aside, folks, we trooped on and we're here in the end. So for those of you who've been under a rock or something, or maybe not Iranian, listening to the podcast, who is Babak? So Babak is an Iranian guitarist, composer, highly talented and accomplished Iranian musician, composer, guitarist. He's also a member of Toronto's Musicians Association, an instructor of Canada's Music Academy, a member of the American Guitar Society. He's an Iranian guitarist, composer that's arranged lots of work in terms of traditional music, also pop. He was born in Iran. He started playing guitar at a young age, then later established himself as a prominent musician who's collaborated with some of the most well-renowned Iranian artists such as Gugush, etc., and has contributed significantly to the Persian music scene. Have I done you justice with that synopsis?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And Gugush is one of those days. I don't think I've ever met an Iranian who hasn't liked Gugush. She's a real icon, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She's an icon, indeed.
Yeah. Absolutely. So let's peel back and start to uncover who this incredible musician and guitarist known otherwise as Babak Amini really is. So explain more about your background, your upbringing, of who you are, Babak.
Yeah, as I remember, honestly, as I remember when I was like a little kid, I really loved music. Any melodies that I was hearing from the radio or like any recording, cassettes, I could memorize it the first time that I was hearing it. I think that was the only talent that I had. I don't have any other talents, not any other things. I tried so many things also. And I went to university and I studied different subjects, and I studied industrial management, but I was the worst student, I think, in the university. Yeah, I tried a little here and there because that time was also the war in Iran and Iraq. So basically we had to just do something not to go to army. So that was my choice, to just go to university, not just to avoid to go to army and to go to the war. So we had to just study something, and just working as a musician wasn't like an option in those days after the revolution. It was hard, but I had a passion. And I don't know, where should I start? I can give you so many details, but yeah, I had that passion when I was a little kid. So I was 10 years old. One of our family, just they had those junior guitars, the little guitars. So I was so in love with that guitar. I really like to have it and play it. So I was going to our family's house just to have little time to just practice with that guitar. So finally they gave me that toy, that guitar. So I remember I wrote my first songs with that guitar, and I had a 6-month training. But I went to the guitar class only 6 months when I was 10 years old. But I think that I received a good foundation from that guitar instructor, Shahrukh Partovi, and it was flamenco style, classical and flamenco style. But Yeah, I took it from there with like whole passion and my heart. And I've been enjoying it since now till now. And yeah, I tried my best to do whatever that I'm doing to be great. I didn't just play it for fun. I enjoyed it and I was just trying to create good quality music even when I was a little kid. I remember the first songs the first song that I made, I was like, I don't know, 12 years old, and I was just playing for everybody and everybody liked it. So the first album that I recorded, I was 20 years old, that I got permission to just go to the studio legally. And because anything that you wanted to do those days, it was like really hard. You had to get permission from the government. And I recorded my first album. That was the first guitar album after the revolution. The name of the album was Blue of the Rain. And I remember sold like million cassettes. I don't know how many million, but that was the first one. But it was everywhere in Iran. But took 4 years for me after recording to get permission from the government. And those songs, the Blue of the Rain, was the songs that I made it when I was like 12, 13 years old to 17 years old. So after that, took like 2 years for me to master that, to record properly. And yeah, when I was 20 years old, I recorded in Studio Pop. It was a legendary studio in Tehran that all the great singers before the revolution, they used to record in that special legendary studio. Yeah, Gugush, Ebi, all like the great singers, they used to go to that studio. So I was the first one that recorded guitar album after the revolution. And it was extremely hard to get permission from the government. So I think when I got that permission to release that album, I found out that I did something right. I did something big, because after that, because I got that permission, so many young artists, they could do it because they said, oh, Babak has the permission, he can release it, so why we have to go for it, and we can release albums and with the guitar. And the second album also was 24 years old. Another one that we added the electric guitar and drums. So that was I think that was the first one that we record. Actually, we recorded drums because it was like a Western instruments. They were against it. Yeah, so many ups and downs, but we fought through it. And yeah.
Fascinating. And did you, because like in the West, you have artists that they make their own music and stuff, but they have something called royalties. So some people even live off they've been a one-hit wonder and they're still having their song being played in a supermarket around Christmas time. And but the problem is sometimes with Iranian music, from my understanding, is that
we don't have copyrights.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't have copyrights. Even first album that I released, I think that we sold 7 millions. The first album, first cassette. And basically, I didn't receive anything out of it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have like many albums. Yeah. And also the album that I had with Gugush, I don't know how many copies has been released, but I didn't get anything out of it. Yeah, because it was the first album that Gugush had after the revolution. After 20 years of not singing, the album Zartosh was all my songs, all my orchestrations. But I don't think that even Gugush made anything out of it, honestly.
It's just such a travesty, isn't it? You've got this unbelievable talent. The public love it. They're buying it in droves, and yet can't make anything from it. So I guess it then comes down to other things like concerts and stuff like that.
Concerts was good. Basically, the only thing that I can say I could make money. Obviously, Gugush could make great money out of it, but for myself as well, the recording, the tracks, albums, videos, we were basically spending more money instead of making money. But with the concerts, we could make money, but it was like crazy that we couldn't get money out of the recordings. We sold so many songs, we sold so many albums, but because we don't have copyrights, anything that we were uploading, all the sites were like copying and releasing in their own websites. I was like that, but I cannot complain. Here we are still fighting, we still going, like making music, we still having, I'm super busy and I'm working on different projects, working on my instrumental projects as well. Basically I have 2-3 different genres that I'm pushing in the music, and I'm happy that I wasn't disappointed, and so I didn't lose the passion, even though I saw very like a hard days, but we survived. I survived actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about the others.
Yeah, some have found it more difficult. Who would you say has been the main type of influences in your musical career?
Yeah, I want to tell you a crazy story about that. Oh, first of all, sorry that I was like a little bit hesitant toward having the interview in English, and sorry if anybody.
Yeah, folks, I've been at Babak probably for about 8 months, doing my best for successful Iranians, and he was kind enough and gracious enough to say,
yeah, so sorry, but I was thinking that maybe my English is not that good to just be
very good.
But I'm happy that I can communicate with you and your listeners. Okay, I want to tell you a story. You mentioned that about the influence that I had. When I started playing guitar, I really wanted to play with my fingers, not pick. When I went to the class, the first guitar instructor was like teaching with the pick, not finger style. I said, and anything that he was teaching me, I was playing with my fingers, not pick. And he was like, Matt, what are you doing? You said, eventually I'm going to play with my fingers. I don't want to have that nylon like pick. And it's just disconnecting me to strings, to the guitar. And it was like he was mad at me. And one day I said, okay, you know what? We have great flamenco guitar instructor. I think that you have to go get lessons from that guy. You don't listen to me. And I said, okay. And from the day one that I start taking lessons from Shahrokh Partovi, my first guitar instructor, man, I enjoyed it. And I knew that I like flamenco because just the technique is so passionate and like strong, physical, and I like the rhythm. And I could understand the music because most of the Iranian Persian melodies that we have is just Phrygian modes. So it's similar than flamenco modes. It's just all minor Phrygian. And that's why I was thinking that anything that I was hearing, like flamenco music, traditional flamenco music from the Spain, I could understand it when I was 10 years old. I don't know how. It was making sense. And I love the technique. So I was watching Paco de Luz videos. That time I was like 14 years old, 13 years old. There was first video like from VHS or Betamax and VHS tapes came to Iran. And I was like, I think I was the first one that I was having that Paco de Lucia's concert on those tapes. So I was watching Paco de Lucia's playing and performing, and that's how I fixed my style. So he was my idol. The Paco de Lucia was my idol. And I was 14 years old. Somebody gave me a cassette as like a birthday gift, Al Di Meola. And the first time that I heard Al Di Meola, said, wow, look at the beautiful harmony. Look at the technique that he has, the fantastic electric sound. And so these two guys, Paco de Lucia and Al Di Meola, were my idols. And lots of things that, like technical things that I play, is because I grow up just keep watching and listening to those kind of music. So that was the language that it could speak to me. So that's why I'm so into technical and complicated music, because I grew up just listening to the most technical guitar players in the world. And the story is getting more exciting here. A couple of years ago, there was a guitar luthier, guitar maker, the world famous guitar luthier, Felipe Conde from the Spain. They contacted me and said, we want to make a guitar for you. I said, wow. Felipe Conde is the guitar maker that made guitar for Paco de Lucia. And they said that we want to have your own guitar line and based off your name. And I was so excited. So I went to Spain and I gave them all the measurements that I want for the guitar. So basically, they have, I think, 4 or 5 special signature guitar lines, like Nike has for the Michael Jordan or like those kind of things. Felipe Conde is like a choice of the guitars in the world. So basically, the first line that they had was for Aldimilla. Yeah. And now if you open the Felipe Conde's website, go to the special guitars, you see the Aldimiola signature guitar line, which is sells globally. And you go down, number 4 is mine, Babak Amini signature guitar line. Yeah, but that passion that I had it from my childhood to listening to Paco de Lucia and Aldimiola, just here, I'm on the same page in the guitar company line that with my idols. And Mr. Felipe was very kind that he took me to Paco de Lucia's house when I was in Madrid. So it was like we have crazy memories, beautiful memories and beautiful pictures when me and Felipe, we went to Paco de Lucia's house and his studio. You know that he passed away a couple of years ago. But yeah, these 2 guys were my idols.
Fascinating story. What makes a great guitarist, would you say?
First of all, I don't consider myself as a good guitar player, honestly.
No, it's just that the greats always, they don't talk in themselves in those terms, whether it's sport or...
No.
Unless
right
Muhammad
now
Ali.
is a different era. I think for the musicians, right now, it's not enough to just play guitar. Right. Or just play one kind of style. We need to be great musician, rounded musician. Everything has been changed because of the technology. We cannot, as a musician, I tell my students all the time that just learning good technique, learning guitar is not enough. You have to learn the technology. You have to be able to work with the music softwares. You have to learn the orchestrations. You have to be able to lead your little band. And little by little, you have to be able to lead the orchestra and just not to just sit and play guitar. Old days, they didn't have those advantages that we have. So they couldn't work with the computer. They couldn't just record at home. They have to spend like lots of money, just get sponsors or record companies. They had to sponsor them to go to record in the high-end studios, or everything was so expensive. But everybody right now with a little laptop can record digital audios, and the quality is even sometimes better than those studios. And so we have advantages right now to use the technology and the new knowledge to be more than just a guitar player, to be able to record our projects, to be able to arrange. And for instance, when I was like a little, I don't know, I was like 20 years old when I wrote my first orchestra. We used to write it without computer or anything. We used to write the orchestra on the paper. And we were like, we had to guess what's going to happen. Does it sound, it's going to sound good or not? But right now, everybody else has a computer. We can record 100 tracks and to see and change anytime we want and use different. Even right now, the AI softwares that is helping the musical softwares right now. For instance, the Logic is just giving updates every like 20 days and using AI to improve that engine. So that engine is helping all the musicians. Just playing there and just sit there and play guitar is not enough for the musicians. It's like a mixed martial arts, UFC. In the UFC, nobody just uses the taekwondo or karate or just wrestling. It just everything together. That's why is the UFC is most growing sport right now. I think right now, because of YouTube, because YouTube is a university, and every day you can learn different genres, different approach for the music. So just sit there and play one genre and do nothing, I think is not enough for now. So that's why I don't consider myself as just guitar player, because I don't practice like 10 hours a day just guitar. No, I would rather to compose music for different singers. I would rather to learn more techniques for the orchestration. I would love to learn jazz, fusion, rock, everything. I just listen to all the classes that modern guitar players they put in the YouTube or they have like online. So we didn't have those options before. So we had to just play and sit just one genre. But now I think everybody's changing. So this new genre will provide more well-rounded musicians, different kind of approach.
It's so true, because we're in the fourth industrial age of AI and automation. It affects everything, the world of work, create. If you don't embrace technology and utilize technology, you're going to be left behind.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just a fact. I remember when younger days listening to the old Gypsy Kings and playing the guitar and everything and the way they did it. And Eric Clapton was considered as one of the great guitar players. Would that be fair?
Oh, yeah. Eric Clapton is the man.
It's interesting to see how things are evolving so much when you say it's not enough. You have to be this musician and stuff. Would you say it's more difficult now to make it in music, or easier because you do have things like YouTube and stuff like that, and you can go viral and suddenly people discover you, whereas before
it's difficult.
Is it? Yeah.
It's difficult, but still, if you have passion and if you dedicate your life for the music and get help from the technology and everything, you go through it.
And in terms of what has surprised you in all your journey?
Just living as a musician, every day is a surprise for us. So many things. Imagine the COVID situation that we had. We had to stop the concerts, stop teaching for 2 years and 2 years and a half. And it was like crazy. Art is a luxury. When people can, economically, they are suffering, we see lots of surprise because we don't have security for what we are doing. And so, for instance, if I tell you, even Ukraine war will affect us. Honestly,
yeah, cost of living, interest rates,
and everything.
Prices, yeah,
and when the cost of living is high or getting higher and higher, people cannot bring their kids to learn music. First, they want to just buy their groceries. Then they go to luxury. They don't go buy paintings. They don't want to upgrade their cars. First, they have to just do the necessary things, then go to the luxury. Art is a luxury. And so anything happening in the world will affect us. And we see lots of surprises also. We see even after the COVID situation that all the airlines, hotels, and the venues were suffering. Now all of them are expensive.
Yeah.
I had a concert in Vancouver, instrumental concert. Honestly, the cost of the flights for my band and the hotel, that ate 3/4 of the tickets. So that we see lots of those surprises.
Yeah. And people don't see that. They see, the ticket is
Yeah.
this price, but they don't realize, oh, look at all the prices that I'm having to pay.
Yeah.
It's just through the roof.
And 2025, I have a tour in US. I cannot take my own band from Toronto. I have to go there and use my American band, American musicians. Because of those costs, I would rather to just have my like band here from the like a local band, but cost of the traveling, it's just and the hotels, everything is just twice right now, more expensive.
Yeah, and I totally get it. You've done a lot of travels and you've had a lot of highs and lows. Particular favorites, or the reverse,
You know what?
the ones that you rather forget.
You know what? Any concert that needs attention to practicing and difficult performance, when I do it the right way, when I do it when I'm happy after the concert, is the best high I can get. When I see it in the people's eyes, in the audience, that they are happy, they are like amazed, they are like, I love it. This is the best high I can get.
Is it addictive?
Yeah, I don't care about the money. Yeah. But when I perform good, when my band, we do it like as a unit, and we do that project perfectly, this is the best gift that I can get, because I love to serve people. Because all those years, like I've been playing guitar for 45 years, man. Wow. 44 years now. And when I see that result, when I see that connection with the people, with the audience, that's the best high I can get. But of course, when I go there and the technical issues, the sound, we find, for instance, like a crappy sound engineer, we have like in different cities, and like the equipment, some of them, they are like beat up, is not working properly. Those things is just the obstacles that is just bothering the musicians. Also, sometimes the expenses are too much that we don't make money, basically. Those things that is happening, but overall, when I see audience are happy, I don't think about those kind of things.
Yeah, sports stars, famous sports stars. I love tennis, so I follow it a lot. And I think someone asked Stan Van Britt, the tennis player, what do you dread about retirement? And he said, what I would miss most from tennis is that the roar of the crowd.
Yeah.
And the competition of the match. You just can't replace it. No matter what I have or whatever, that feeling of being on court and in that moment is addictive, and you just can't replicate it.
Exactly.
And it'd be the same for you.
Same thing here, man. Same thing.
And it's addictive as well when it comes to that. What would Babak say now to the young Babak, if you could, in terms of a word of advice?
Yeah, I see lots of young, talented musicians that they are so focused on making money. They're so focused on, okay, what we have to do to have a hit song? What do we have to do to make more money? But I can say, as soon as you start thinking only about making money or only about making hits, you're not going to do it. You have to love what you're doing and put time and all your passion all in, and learn and practice and put love. But those kind of things comes after. When you're really good, everybody wants you. So you don't need to have strategy or something. Everything comes after all those plannings.
It's true. If people concentrate just to be in love with what they do and to be successful, the money comes rather than the other way around.
Yeah, I have some students. I can say 1/3 of my students, they are guitar teachers, and as soon as they learn little thing from me, they go record that little thing for different artists. I said, man, don't do it. Don't copy. It's just you're doing it like a Lego kind of thing. Don't do it. Learn the whole thing. Learn the whole thing and have your signature, have your own language, and then start recording. So they don't have the patience. They just want to do it quick. They want to just get to the top without enough experience. And but they want fame. Most of them, they see I see them, they don't have the passion for the music or art. They have passion for the fame, which is, this one is, it will kill them, because they might have the fame, but the fame won't last. And it is, when you have the fake fame, is the worst thing, because you have to just live with that fake fame for the rest of your life. You might have one hit, you might have just played one stage, just one good song, but what you're gonna do for your rest of your life, because you didn't invest enough to be able to continue on that level. You might have a little spark, but you cannot continue.
It's so true, because I think people find it difficult to be authentically themselves.
Yes.
To be their real self, rather than construct. And when it comes to society, we live in this instant gratification culture.
Yeah.
That's why you see these get-rich schemes from crypto to what. Oh, good, I can end up with that Rolls Royce that I've seen on Instagram in the reel. I just need to invest in Bitcoin or Solana or whatever is next. And you might get like an absolute fluke of a luck, but generally speaking, there's a lot of graft that goes to everything. And coming to that, as we approach more towards the end of the podcast, is what's been the hardest lesson for you? The hardest lesson that you've had to go.
The hardest lesson is the trust. I trusted some people that I shouldn't. And I faced lots of difficulties after those trusts, but I cannot change myself. I still want to trust people. But yes, I have to think twice. But I don't want to change myself. The hardest lessons were trusting the wrong people. But still, I love people. I want to continue trusting people. But I have to have second thoughts. I have to make sure.
Of course, because there's that quote, isn't it? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Exactly. And you have to be careful, because there are opportunists in life that they don't have the best of intentions.
Exactly.
About these kind of things, which is really horrible. I've always been of the philosophy, I'd rather have no money than bad money. There's no point. And in terms of highs, you mentioned one of them, but who's been like the most famous person or the most incredible concert you've had experience-wise that you've played to? Some of your biggest highs to your career?
I can say the first concert that we had with Gugush, that was the biggest high that I'd received, because I could see the people, man, like 18,000 people, they were like crying and cheering. Amazing feeling that Gugush gave all her life to the people, her art and her craft, connected to people that much that when she stopped singing for 20 years, people were hungry to just have a little something from Gugush. When she came on the stage and when we played the first song, man, we couldn't hear our instruments.
Wow.
Even right now, it was like 24 years ago. Anytime that I remember those moments, I cannot compare anything to that. It was amazing feeling, amazing experience for me. I was so honored to be her band leader and musical director for those tours. And we played, I think, 12 years together. 15 15 years together. I was her band leader and musical director. Yeah, it was an amazing feeling. Yes, I can tell.
I can almost feel it virtually in your tonality and how you describe that. And my final question is, what is your thoughts about Iranian music now, today, and where does it lie in amongst other music of the world?
It's different because for so many years, Western music and pop music were forbidden in Iran. So basically, before revolution, we were so ahead in that region in the Middle East. So basically, they used to copy our songs, like Gol Sangam. The Turkish musicians, they were singing it. Arab people singing it. Different, even our movies, they were going to 10 countries in that region. So anything that we used to, like before the revolution, movies or recordings, like Gugush was having concerts in all the region in different countries. And we were ahead of our neighbors. But after the revolution, I think I can say around like 20 years, everything was just forbidden. They didn't give permission to artists to have concerts and recordings. And little by little, they gave some opportunities to different musicians and different singers that they could control. Basically, they want to go against the Los Angeles music. So in case if the Los Angeles music, they had some projects that there was like a cheap music or not, like a shallow kind of music lyrics, they wanted to do more shallow, more cheap to beat the Los Angeles. So that's why they supported some artists that they were like clowns to get money out of them because they had good market to get the concert tickets money and beat Los Angeles. So it was toxic situation. Basically, politically, they were using those poor kids against the Los Angeles music, against the Tehran jealous kind of music. So in that situation, we cannot see great music because there is no place for them. And little by little, we see that great artists, they don't have enough projects, but crappy artists, I don't want to say crappy, but like different kind of entertainment genres, they are just making money out of nothing. That's why it's just different. It's not open for everybody to showcase their art. It's just anybody who has connections with the government, and government knows that they can control them. So this toxic environment for art to grow organically. So basically, I can say, but still we have great musicians, but they are not busy. All those fantastic musicians that we have in Iran, they don't get good projects. They don't get good venues to perform. That's why most of them, they get disappointed and they want to move to different countries. But yeah, we have talented musicians.
Because Iranians are super talented, just regardless.
Yeah. Yes.
Poetry to philosophy to music to What's next for you? What's coming up? People want to find out more about your concerts or anything you're doing, etc.
Yes, I just finished my Canada tour, my instrumental tour, and it was successful. It was good.
Congrats.
Super technical concert, and with the fantastic musicians. I can say all of them, they were like the best musicians that you can find, definitely. In 2025, I have tour in US. Also, we upgraded my signature guitar line by Felipe Conde. Right now, we built the first one and needs a little improvement here and there in the guitar. So they're changing little parts. I think in 2 months, we are launching the new model. Basically, same thing is Babak Amini signature guitar by Felipe Conde, but it's just upgraded and it's more expensive also. You are working on that too.
Got you. And is there anywhere they can purchase tickets or
tickets? Yes, it was on the Ticketmaster, and I will put all the information on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and yeah.
And the best contacts details is that is all Babak Amini on all your social medias, right?
Yes, yes.
Got you. You truly are a successful Iranian, and not just that, you're just a thoroughly good human being. So I want to appreciate. Thank you ever so much. I've really enjoyed the chat. This has been Babak Amini, and this has been Successful Iranians.
Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome.